Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Clute.
Here.
Bragg.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Mayor Robish.
Present. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to the agenda approval. Tonight I have one addition I need to put on there for a work session. We have a work session on the Gibbs Park concepts. So I missed that on Friday, so that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything?
Move to approve the agenda with the addition.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Public forum. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and address for the record. Do we have anyone in the audience here for public forum? Seeing none, we can move on to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. Our consent agenda tonight consists of 4.1 minutes of October 27, 2025, fuel quotes for city departments, 4.3 personnel items. Number 1, accept the voluntary resignation of volunteer firefighter Robert Palladino effective October 24th, 2025. And number 2, approve the employment of Clint Pastolka for the part-time year-round custodian position for the Parks and Recreation Department at grade 2, step A at $13.13 per hour effective November 4th, 2025 with a 90-day probationary period. 4.4, consider raffle permit for volunteer fire department, raffle drawing to be held on December 20th, 2025. 4.5, consider appointment of Beetle County Commissioner Dennis Drake to replace Doug Ramsel on the TIF Project Review Committee. And 4.6, payment of the bills.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to bid quote items, consider change order number 1 from BX Civil and Construction for bid number 2024-03 in the amount of $7,300 and authorize the mayor to sign. With us tonight, we have from our engineering department, Megan Eggleston. Would you like to explain that?
So this was just a rehab of the existing sidewalk on the east and west ends. So it had like a lip there, so we had to do a bit more rehab on it than what the plans called for. And we recommend to approve this change order.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to 5.2, consider approval for Huron Police Department to purchase 2 2025 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles to replace current vehicles with over 120,000 miles and authorize the police chief to sign the quote. The total cost to the purchase 2 vehicles is $131,955, which is below the 2026 budget amount, and the payment and possession will not be required until after January 1st, 2026. We have in front of us here Police Chief Derek Lair. Would you like to expand on that?
Well, you did a pretty good job.
Okay.
But thank you. What we're requesting to do is start the process of obtaining the 2 vehicles for 2026 budget year. By doing it now, we lock in that 2025 pricing, which is what we bid. Unfortunately, a lot of times the state bids don't come out until later in the year. So it was actually lucky that we were able to find 2 vehicles that were available, have them built and outfitted to hopefully take possession of them as close to January 1 as we possibly can. As you're all aware, we've been having a lot of issues with police vehicles lately. I had another issue last week that required us to take another one offline, so the sooner we can get vehicles, the better. And these are not Tahoes, these are Ford Explorers.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments for the chief?
Do we want to note that we're purchasing off a bid?
Yeah, these vehicles are, would be purchased off the Iowa State bid through Carl Chevrolet out of Des Moines. The Iowa State bid was about $2,800 less per vehicle than South Dakota State bid.
Okay.
And these are the two that you have budgeted for next year?
Correct.
So is this it? This is all you'll get?
Correct. The budgeted amount was $133,352. This is coming in outfitted about $2,000 less than what we budgeted.
But so you'll have to get by these two is all you're getting for a bid, right?
What's that?
These two are all you're getting for a bid? so you
Let's,
gotta
yes.
get rid-
Yeah.
get
We don't
rid
plan
of
on
these.
wrecking any or doing anything, but we didn't plan on that this year either, so.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Hood.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Moving on to departmental items, I'll have Commissioner Clute fill us in on our solid waste department.
'Tis the time of year, we have a lot of solid waste announcements to make. I just want to give a reminder that the green yard waste containers will be picked up this week. They will not be picked up next week. And then you'll have one final week to clean everything up, and they will be cleaned up the week of November 17th through the 21st, and that will be, as of right now, the final pickup week. And then for Veterans Day closure, Solid Waste Department rubble site will be closed on Veterans Day, Tuesday, November 11th. Tuesday's garbage and recycling collection routes will be done on Wednesday, November 12th. Please remember to have your containers out the night before, as trucks will not be rerouted. There will be no yard waste collection, as a reminder again, the week of November 10th through the 14th. Green can collection will resume the following week. And if you have any questions, you can call the Solid Waste Department at 353-8542. Thank you.
Thank you for those reminders. Moving on to 8.2, I've asked Commissioner Brian Smith to enlighten us on his departments tonight. Commissioner Smith is our Public Works Commissioner, so I'll turn the rest of the night over to him.
Thank you, Mayor. With this a little bit in a resurrected new format of reporting on our departments, I was given the opportunity to put an article in the Chamber newsletter, and I'm going to follow that format of reporting. I think in general, the commissioners and staff have a pretty good understanding of our departments and what they do, but I wrote this in a fashion maybe a little more public friendly for the citizens of Huron and the surrounding area. So without further ado, I won't read this off in its entirety, but excuse me. The first department that I wanted to talk about initially or through this is engineering. And engineering, currently we actually have 4 staff people. We do have a vacancy in our engineering department. Brett Runge is our city engineer, and Dennis Bennett retired this year after 22 years of service with the city of Huron. Dennis was serving in the capacity as assistant engineer, and we will miss Dennis in this role due to his knowledge of the department and institutional knowledge of the city. I believe there are very few underground and above ground utilities that Dennis has not been involved with throughout his career, and we'll be replacing. We're in the process of starting to do interviews within the next month to replace Dennis. Other duties that the engineer department is involved with deal with reviewing development plans for new and existing business expansions within our city. They review drainage plans, construction plans to some degree, making sure that their plan fits within the ordinances and the zoning requirements of the city. Along with that, doing on-site inspection work for projects that are ongoing and happening mainly throughout spring, summer, and into the fall. Even though the Dakota Avenue project isn't necessarily a city project, it's being impacted on the city through the state, since it's a state highway. And our team is involved in walking through that with the state engineers and along with the streetscape items that we're dealing with, water, sewer projects, etc. They also post requests for proposals for city work that needs to be completed, as well as equipment that is being acquired. They work closely with consulting companies that we may have complete strategic planning with, and it's a pretty busy department when you consider how many items go through their office, as far as anything from construction of the project and development of the project to final finish and signing off on it. So it's people-wise, it's a small department, but job responsibility, it's a big department. The next department that is under my umbrella is the street department. Our street department superintendent is Bob Simpson. Bob, as many of you may know, Bob has been with the city for, has he been over 30 years now?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I should have a little better idea of how many years, but I know it's been quite a while. He has extensive experience in the department, and the street department is responsible for keeping the streets, parking lots in tip-top shape. They're responsible for filling in potholes, to chip sealing, to repairing streets after utility work has been done. They also maintain, to the best that they can, maintain our alleys so that the garbage trucks aren't rattling through the alleyways. So if it's a street-related issue, the street department by name is responsible for it. I do want to give a little more insight on the street department, though. They not only just handle the street department or the streets in the city as far as maintenance and improvements, they quite often get called into other jobs throughout the city with other departments because of the size of equipment that they have, the access to payloaders and excavators and all the big equipment. And whether it be in the Parks and Rec department or the golf courses or anything in between, Bob is always very helpful in jumping in and saying, "You bet, we'll get that taken care of." They've done work in conjunction with the state fair and the state fairgrounds. When we had National Finals Rodeo, they were heavily involved in developing the rodeo arena for them, and they just do an outstanding job. In addition to spring, summer, and nice weather work, they're also responsible for clearing snow in the community. And I can't tell you how many times in my tenure as commissioner that I've heard community people, as well as people from outside of our community, compliment us on how quickly our streets get cleaned off and how good of a job that they do, and they continue to carry on that tradition. So I'm not saying that hoping for a bunch of snow this year, but I don't have control of that either. So. One other thing, kind of a side note, when the flags and the decorations for the Christmas season is upon us, you'll see Bob and his crew out there putting those up and taking those down. Kind of a side responsibility that they have. Another area that I'm involved in is the Huron Community Campus. Our director for the Huron Community Campus is Doug Peets. Doug has been in that capacity for, I believe, 7 years, 8 years. And Doug has continued to foster the community campus into what the vision was of it when we lost our university. He's been influential in reaching out to other neighboring colleges and universities, private and public businesses to create stakeholders that will keep that function of our city alive and moving forward. Currently, we have the ability to have traditional, non-traditional students work their way into associate's degrees, bachelor degrees, as well as master's degrees in select fields. Continue to offer the classes at $45 a credit hour, which with generous support of the Huron community, or excuse me, the Huron University Foundation. And it's developed into a class, a real class community service and community college, and we're very unique to have that opportunity and to collaborate with other universities across the state. IT department. As I sit here on camera and recording, thanks to Chad Borgen. Chad is head of our IT. There are 2 people in our IT department between Chad and Nick. They keep the lights on, anything from keeping the lights on to keeping our keyboards clacking away. They cover IT. IT is such a broad statement of what a department is, because in this setting they're keeping our computers updated, they're troubleshooting, keeping us safe from the bad guys from jumping in on our system, to making sure that cameras are working. If it runs on a battery or you have to plug it in, they're probably part of it. So they have an extensive list of responsibilities and a lot of responsibility in keeping our IT department going and focused. Finally, the other area that I've been overseeing and been part of for a while is the event center. Brenda Jagger is the director for the event center, and most of you, if you've lived in the community very long or happen to have visited our wonderful community, you'll know Brenda, since she has been with the Crossroads and now with the event center a multitude of years. She's been there as long as I can remember. Brenda does a fantastic job of keeping that organized, keeping it as a venue for people from out of town to come to for business functions, as well as family gatherings, to weddings, to you name it. She also oversees the food and beverage concessionaire. Currently, that's Top Floor Events, and we do have that opportunity out as a request for proposals currently, and that's under review as we speak. as we do have some applicants that have submitted proposals for that. And I just want to thank all the staff for the work that they do within the city, and they do it to the best that they can with the resources that they have available to them, and always trying to keep our taxpayers in mind as far as how we spend money, why we do things the way we do, and we're just a great group of staff people serving our community. And without that, my job would be much more difficult. So thanks to all the people that are within my departments, and that's kind of a roundabout on it.
Sure. Thank you for your for your insight and for your updates on your departments, and I will ask the other commissioners to do the same on a given night, so be prepared, and we'll fill in the public on what's going on. Thank you.